Living Romania.
You are listening to Radio Romania International.
Society Today. Welcome, I'm Mihaela Ignatescu. How much time does a child have left for themselves after school ends? That is the question behind a new survey conducted by Save the Children organization, released in early May. The study was conducted on a sample of nearly 1,500 children aged 9 to 16. The survey paints a picture of a generation caught between school demands and the allure of screens. The conclusion is simple. 1 in 3 children simply want more time with their family and more hours spent outdoors. And nearly half of them say they need more sleep. A child spends about 8 hours a day on school and homework, and for 4 out of 6 children, that figure rises to 10 hours a day. Added to these are tutoring sessions. Nearly half of the children take extra classes, with a percentage approaching 60% in Bucharest and other major cities. In this landscape, free time is drastically reduced. Gabriela Alexandrescu, Executive President of the Save the Children organization, told us what a day in the life of a school child looks like and about the survey conducted by the organization. Our survey shows that a typical day during the school year looks something like this for children. They spend 5-6 hours at school and an hour commuting to and from school. They spend 1 to 2 hours on homework and studying. They spend 3 to 4 hours browsing the internet, interacting with friends, or playing online games. And they spend 1 hour, at most 2, in direct social interaction with their family. In other words, in the most common scenario, a child spends about 8 hours a day on school and homework, but for 4 out of 10 children, the time spent on school and homework is 10 hours a day. If we look strictly at the time spent on family interactions, we see that nearly half of the children spend at most 2 hours on that. Consequently, it is no surprise that 1 in 3 children would like to have more time for socializing with their families. The survey we are referring to shows that nearly 3 out of 5 children say that the decision regarding how to spend their free time is theirs, while another 30% say the decision is made in agreement with their parents. As expected, parental involvement in how their child spends their free time decreases with age, from 82% in elementary school to 22% among high school students. What are the main effects that academic overload, homework, and tutoring have on children's emotional and mental well-being? Children tell us they feel tired. In fact, when asked what activities they would like to spend more time on, nearly 1 in 3 children say they would like to spend more time sleeping. This overload is also reflected in children's emotional well-being. A quarter of children frequently feel sad, and a third of children say they feel enthusiastic rarely or very rarely. Anxiety is the most common mental health disorder among children. This is followed by emotional disorders and parenting difficulties. There are many children going through their parents' divorce, for example. Learning disorders, screen addiction, and even substance abuse and suicide attempts are other issues. 3/4 of children spend less than 5 hours a week outdoors, that is less than an hour a day, and 13% never go outside at all. Screens are gaining ground. 62% of children spend at least 3 hours a day online, and a quarter of them spend more than 6 hours there. And the older the child gets, the more time they spend online. What are parents doing about this?
Sondajul nostru arată că cel mai frecvent o zi din timpul anului școlar
only 1 in 10 parents limits the time their children spend online using an app. Another 25% told us they set limits verbally. For nearly 8 out of 10 children over the age of 12, the websites they access online are not restricted in any way by their parents. Nearly a quarter of children also told us that they use apps to hide their online activity, so that their parents won't realize that instead of reading or studying, they are on the computer. 1/3 of children do not read anything outside the school curriculum, and 1/3 do not engage in any physical activity during a typical week. How can this trend be reversed? Gabriela Alexandrescu.
În ceea ce privește lectura, sondajul nostru și-a propus să evalueze lectura liber. Am descoperit că 30% dintre
As to reading, our survey aims to assess independent reading. We found that 30% of children do not spend any time reading outside the school curriculum, and those who do spend mostly less than 2 hours a week. When it comes to outdoor activities, our survey shows that 75% of children have less than 5 hours of outdoor activities per week. On average, less